So Paycase is a mobile-first universal banking platform, leverages blockchain technology to send money anywhere around the world. So sending money from a relative here back to somewhere like the Philippines, for example.
And how does it work from a consumer standpoint?
Yeah, so we have kind of two actually product offerings. So on the consumer side, it's a mobile-first application, so Android, iOS, web as well. And then we're actually working with some of the largest banks and financial institutions in the country on how they actually allow remittances to be sent anywhere around the world as well.
So what's the difference between doing this through your service and other ways that people can do this?
Yeah, so what we do is we actually leverage blockchain and Bitcoin's technology. So it's an entirely new transfer system. And what we do is we actually allow for about 80% reduction in costs as to, let's say, a Western Union's current traditional models. The other thing too is what we provide a full mobile experience and an end-to-end cash delivery pickup anywhere around the world. So.
How do you build up that trust with consumers because you are a new service offering?
It's a really good question. And I think that trust is something that has to be earned and not bought. And so what we've really done is we've now worked with some of the largest financial institutions to kind of help us enable trust a lot quicker. It's not an easy thing, but it's something that takes a lot of time to do, but it's really about how do you do it in the partners that you work with to kind of channel that quicker.
When you look at a company like Western Union, they have huge marketing dollars behind them to get their name out there. How do you plan to spread as far as allowing consumers to know more about you?
It's a great question. And so what we actually do is we actually work with our partners to actually kind of on-ramp about 70 to 100,000 users at a time. And we actually work deep within the communities that we're focusing on. So we have Filipino leaders across the entire country that are actually working spreading that a lot quicker than traditional B2C marketing, for example.
And what do they like about it the most?
The simplicity, ease of use, and cost. I mean, it's we're going through a hard economic time as well. So when you can reduce those costs drastically and increase the time and speed to under 12 hours or less anywhere around the world, it's the efficiency that people look for and making it simple and easier for people. I think.
You've talked a little bit about the experience from the person who's sending the money from their standpoint, but what about the recipient in another country?
Well, that's the whole thing, and I think the reason why banks don't work in this environment is because bank-to-bank transfers are great, but you're going to a developing nation that most people aren't banked. So the question that we've kind of looked to solve is what's called that last mile. So what we've actually done in the Philippines, for example, is they use pawn shops to actually get money out. And so what we've done is we've used mobile on the Western world side and then have actually allowed cash delivery outlets in every single location that traditional Western Unions are operating today. So we provide that cash in, cash out, direct pick up your cash the normal way that you would for the last 20 years if you're in Manila or somewhere else.
I can imagine for people who are sending the money to different countries that they've worked really hard for this money. There's a lot of responsibility on your side to ensure the money gets there safely.
Absolutely.
What do you do to ensure that the transaction is always smooth?
It's a really good question. So basically what we do is we're actually backed by some of the big banks here that kind of help us ensure that at one level. The other thing too, it's interesting about the blockchain, and that's kind of what it actually provides and offers. And Bitcoin's underlying technology kind of ensures that proof of solvency and that proof of trust. And so we have the ability to monitor transactions in a much more efficient way, and we can do that anywhere around the world.
With such deep savings as far as you providing this for less cost than some of the other competitors, how do you as a business make money?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what we do is we will charge on a percentage basis. So you're sending $100, it might cost you $2 or less. And then so what happens is that kind of, because we're running on different efficiencies, we have the ability to operate and cost-wise really kind of make it a lot cheaper for us to scale really quickly.